when I first started this, it wasn't really about doing a podcast. It was really just the conversation happening. And of course, we hit the Corona time. We hit COVID. We hit people not working, and it ultimately became this sanctuary of what's happening. And it's June 3rd now. People are getting back to work. Riots are happening. Rest in peace, George Floyd. I'm not going to really tell you guys what side I am and everything. Just know that I'm on the side that's human. And I don't know how to feel. I know I can picture myself on both sides, but it's so freaking ridiculous and difficult to choose a side. And the people that are able to choose sides, I just don't know how they do it. So that's where we're at right now. Our city is not on lockdown anymore for a couple things, but we have a curfew now because of the riots. And that's where we're at. And my conversation today is going to be with Tres Benzley, who is my hairstylist. But not only is he my hairstylist, he is a huge person within the community that people look up to. He has a studio just off of Midtown. He's been doing this forever. I met him from getting my hair done as a model for my wife's salon a few years back. And since then, he's just cut my hair all the time. So those of you looking at YouTube now, this is it. We're going for something different now. We might go back. I don't know. I'm starting to think about a few things. And of course, Tres is running late. Texted me earlier to verify everything, gave him verifications, running late. So I'm doing the intro before. Normally I do these intros at the end, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm going to wait for him, and then we'll have a little break and then go into this. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for building this podcast. I totally appreciate it. I didn't know what to come with this. I'm a guy from YouTube. I'm a photographer, and doing the podcast was something that I did out of necessity from being at home. And slowly I rebuilt the office for the podcast, and I'm having a ball with it. I feel like I'm getting to know people. I feel like when I go and shoot these events now, and that are going to happen throughout the year because events are starting to come up, I'll have more of an insight onto people, and they'll actually know what I'm thinking as well. Because normally I just show up as a photographer. Hey guys, how's it going? Quick shot. Good to see you again. So I get this thing. Cool. Have a good day. Now it's like, dude, I heard your podcast, dude, thank you so much for doing this. And that's where we're at right now. We're in the last steps of helping with, with the whole freaking unemployment thing, PPP and all that. That's still, can you believe that's still a thing? Can you believe that 3 months later, people are still not getting the pandemic unemployment that they were supposed to? I don't know. Is our governor just not on it? I don't get it. I want to be on his side, but I get so frustrated every time he posts something or does something, and it's like anti what he should be doing. Again, I'm not a politician. I don't understand politics that much, but I do know that there's things that should be done that aren't getting done, and it's really kind of annoying. So that's kind of where we're at. Player?
Sorry, bro.
That's all right. How's it going?
Oh, good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you good. Yeah.
Cool.
Just fine.
Late with client, huh?
Yeah, I was finishing a client. When you have all these these new characteristics and spreading clients out and time to sanitize in between, it kind of throws our schedules off.
How has everything changed? Has anything changed from when I was in there a couple weeks ago?
No, nothing. No, nothing's really changed. I think it's all pretty much the same.
Running smooth though. Like, is everybody okay with everything?
Yeah, I think for the most part, everything's really. Yeah, I think for the most part, people are pretty good with all the new changes and adjustments and time schedules. I mean, there are a few things, I think, the blow dries.
Right.
Some people really want those, and
they want the experience, right? They want the full on. It's weird because, like, before I came to you, so my whole family, like my mom did hair, my cousin does hair. So I've never, before I came to you, I never had to pay for a haircut in my life.
Right.
But also, like, I've never had shampoo and I've never had styled after. It was always like, come in, whatever, they spray the water, do the thing, and then they would just send me away.
Right.
And so, yeah, but I feel like with what you guys are doing, I think a lot of people are assuming that's part of what they're paying for, rather than like you guys just providing that as a service. They're like, well, if you're not going to style my hair and, wash me, then it should be cheaper. Right. And that's what I feel like. I was having this conversation with Lindsay a few years back, and I'm like, well, if people aren't doing that, then what are they paying for?
Right. I think there's a level of service that, does come with, I think the price that you pay for services, depending on where you're at,
Right.
what type of salon, if you're a walk-in type of salon, I think you expect to pay a cheaper price and just get maybe a spritz
Right.
down, and, they go to town and send you on your way. I think there is a level of service that does come with, a higher end salon. And I think there is I haven't had anyone say, oh, well, is it going to be cheaper? I
Right.
think people are just pretty cognizant that this is just kind of the way it is for right now,
Right.
until we get maybe a little further into reopening and, just the stages of how this is all going.
Yeah. And yeah, it's all weird. I think, when I was there, it all worked out pretty well. I didn't feel anything weird. Now I know that I have to clean my hair when I go in, to wash my own hair next time.
Yeah, wash your own hair.
Yeah, but it was easy. I bring a hat in and I leave with a hat. Who cares?
Right.
So thank you. So so you're in the middle of work. You're in your office right now. There's a couple mannequin heads back there.
Yeah.
That's not creepy at all. But thank you for thanks for doing this with me. And when I first started this, you were one of the first people that I thought of to do this. But I knew that when I started this podcast, you were dealing with a lot of stuff with trying to get salons open, not only your salon, but everybody's salon. And I filmed your intro because you were late. I filmed your intro early. And one of the things that always impressed me about you was your name within this community. And I kind of explained to people how I found you, or you found me, or we found each other, is that I was a model for a workshop that you were doing for Unite at Unite Salons. Unite's a product. And my wife's salon at the time, well, they still are, but different salon Lux at the time, was a Unite salon. Lindsay called me and said, I need a model to do whatever. Didn't know what to expect. So I went in, figured out that I have like a round face or triangle face or square face or whatever. And then from then on, you've become my hairstylist. And every time I tell somebody, Lindsay doesn't do my hair, Trace does my hair, and they go, oh my God, what happens? And I'm like, it makes our marriage a lot stronger because my wife will cry after cutting my hair because she thinks she's messed up. How long have you been doing hair?
I just actually March 21st was my 30th year.
Holy crap.
30 years.
When did you start? How old were you when you started?
Well, I started school in 1989.
Right.
I got licensed the end of 1990.
Is hair the only thing you've ever done?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I went to school to maybe get an English degree and some theater. I went back to school, maybe thinking that I might be an architect.
Right.
I've worked in food service. I've worked in restaurants as a, chef's assistant, that kind of thing. But yeah, really all I've ever done was hair. Both my parents did hair. I grew up in a salon, so much like you.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever paid for a haircut.
Right. Yeah. It's, and I didn't know what to expect in pricing. You give me what we call an industry hookup, which I always feel bad every time you do, but I'm never going to say anything.
You do all my photo work, man.
Oh yeah. And I promote you to all the people. I'm a walking billboard. People are like, oh my God, who did your hair? And I'm like, it's Caliber. It's over here. Like you have to go this way. Cause I never carry cards or anything. But all right. So both your parents did hair. Is that what made you want to do hair?
Oh, so I mean, I graduated high school. I went to a year of college that wasn't really doing it for me.
Mm.
I moved to Hawaii and I
Oh,
lived on Oahu for almost 2 years. And, when I was there, I was working in a restaurant doing landscaping, working in a restaurant and doing landscaping
right.
and,
Just side
just hanging
jobs.
on, yeah, just side jobs, hanging on the beach. Um, but I knew that I had to grow up, get a job,
Yeah.
work 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day for the rest of my life. And what was I going to do and really enjoy it?
Right.
And the thing that just kept popping back into my head was just, being in the salon with my mom and dad and, hanging out with those clients and, just the level of professionalism that my parents were as hairdressers.
Right.
I just, it just, I was like, well, that's a no brainer, you
Right.
know,
Did they?
why
So they
not
worked in
use
a
now
salon
and go to
together.
beauty school and become a professional?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because like, and we'll touch back on that. But like, my parents both did nails, so they're both manicurists, right? Dad's
Yeah.
Vietnamese, mom's white, and they both did nails. And I grew up in the nail salon. I was the kid that would go, like, my dad would be like, "Hey, go next door to the gas station, buy a bunch of sodas, and come back and sell it to people." And so I would buy, like a 12 pack of soda of Coke, and I would sell it for $1 a piece because I'm this little, 5, 6 year old kid, walk around selling, take naps in the back. And, if there's no iPods, there's no anything. So entertain yourself in the back of a nail salon. Actually, similar to this office that you have right here would be like the room I would hang out in and come out every once in a while. And I remember even just falling asleep on their like waiting couch outside.
Right.
And then people would just sit like in front of me. And I'd wake up and be like, I gotta go back to the back. But that didn't make me want to do nails. That made me want to get like really far from nails. So you have a totally different experience than me. And so your parents both worked in one salon together,
They did. My parents met in beauty school. They got
right?
married in beauty school. They both worked and managed a big salon chain in Ogden, Utah. And then, then my dad opened his own business, and my mom opened hers in the house after having kids. So
Nice.
yeah,
And so clients would come over to the house.
yeah, yeah.
That's
She
cool.
had a
That's the
basement
dream.
salon, with its own entrance, and
Right. Was that legal?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it was just just kind of that, and I was always really creative. I mean, I love art and drawing and painting and things like that. And so the just the artistic and creative ability of doing hair. And my dad was a competition hairstylist, so he would do like these 7 minute up styles and do these competitions. He was super talented and creative that way. And I just think that's kind of what drove me to become a hairdresser, was that I could interact with people every day and do something that was really super social, yet
Right.
do something that was super creative as well.
So, I mean, I know that, just watching you, so we've done creative shoots together. I know that you have a couple charities that you work with every single year. There's a backpack one, and then there's the one where, I guess, homeless or less fortunate can come in, get completely
Yeah.
styled, and so they get dressed so they can go to interviews. But I always notice that you always have like a group of people around you, and these are people at your salon who are always learning from you. So I think naturally you place yourself in a role that you're an educator and you're a mentor, and obviously that's how I met you, because you were educating and working that way.
Yeah.
um, Before you opened your salon, I mean, you obviously worked for a few people. Can you walk me through how your career kind of came into what you have now?
Yeah, I think really, I mean, interestingly enough, 6 months out of beauty school, I
Mm-hmm.
was in Utah working in a hair salon, and this at the time my mom was doing hair on the side, and she was also selling beauty supplies for a distributor.
Right.
So I was able to get in and take a lot of like advanced training classes and work with product companies and things like that. But 6 months after I graduated beauty school, I was able to go and assist for a company called Farouk Systems,
Okay.
at a big hair show, and one of their guest artists didn't show up, and I was in the back shampooing and applying color and those kind of
Right.
things. And I mean, I was dressed well. I tend to dress well.
Right.
Um,
Jesus.
I mean, like I was prepared, right? And so
Right.
they actually put me on stage
Oh my
with
God. To fill the space, right? Because that
to
person
fill
didn't
the
show.
space.
But
Yeah,
did
full
you have
show.
enough skill at that time, or was it just like, holy crap, yes, I'll do it?
It was like, holy crap, yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, but I had some skill. I'd been working with the product line, but you know, I was just I was one of the backup dancers,
Right.
but I was on stage.
Right.
And so that kind of, you know, drove me into, you know, working for, you know, a brand and educating and I'd been mentored by, you know, many different people. So I worked with Farouk Systems for a couple of years.
Cool.
And I went and I worked assisting with Matrix Essentials. Matrix is another product brand. I worked with them
Right.
for 2 or 3 years after that. And then I went to work for Regis Hairstylist, Regis Corporation.
I know
And
Regis.
huh?
I know of Regis.
Yeah, you know, Regis, yeah. And you know, that was they were still a privately held company. They were a really great corporation at the time. And I worked with them in Boise, Idaho, and a number of salons in Utah, Salt Lake City. And then they moved me here to Reno in 1997 to open a salon at the Meadowood Mall.
And Sid, that's where I know Regis from. So that was, is it still there? Or it's a
No,
massage place now, right? Or something. It was there.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it was there pretty recently. I want to say in the last like 2 or 3 years, because I remember seeing, because Regus.
It's Regis.
Oh, is it IS?
Yeah.
I remember seeing it, and it was one of those salons where, like, I'm assuming it's a walk-in salon,
Yeah.
but everybody would, like, you know, there would be nobody in there, and so, you know, I just walked by. I think it's a little massage place now. So that's what brought you to Reno?
That's what brought me to Reno, and I was on a fast track program to become one of their national trainers.
Right.
Um, and you know, so again, educating, and I would have been traveling around to all of their salons throughout the country and possibly even internationally. You know, and like I said, they were a privately held company at that time, a really great company with a really great training program. They were the highest end of chain salons in the world, and you know, and then the whole corporate structure kind of changed.
Right.
But you know, they went public, and you know, and things changed. So you know, I ended up leaving Regis in 2000, and you know, went to work for some salons here in town.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've always wanted to own my own salon. I always wanted to, you know, be a mentor to people, help people grow and learn, because we just don't get enough in school, right?
I agree. Right. Yeah. If anybody goes to school and comes out and thinks they know everything, and anything like that was me in massage. I felt like, you know, as soon as I was done, I didn't know anything. So I had to like teach myself, and we didn't have YouTube back then. So it was a little harder. Photography was easier for me because then I could YouTube and figure out, you know, teach myself. But I mean, for you, yeah, owning a salon was kind of the end game, right? Or is there something else beyond owning a salon that you're still trying to get to?
You know, I love owning my salon, and I love training people. You know, I think there's an area of being a salon owner and a mentor, a trainer, that, you know, doesn't always work really great with working behind the chair and cutting
Right.
Jeramie's hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love cutting Jeramie's hair. It's great.
It looks,
Cool.
yeah, it's easy.
We have fun. But you know, sometimes that takes away from my ability to actually be interactive with my associates,
Right.
my team members that, you know, might need a little hand up or advice or just question and answer. And you know, so I mean, I would like to see that evolve more
Right.
to, you know, just running a business and being more of a trainer
Right.
and behind the chair every day. And then I've also developed a consultation program that I would like to, you know, kind of revolutionize the industry
Oh,
in a
wow.
way, and sell that to people and get that out to, I want to get it out to 1,000 people this year.
Okay. Well, if I can help, I'll do it. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, ultimately there's always something else on top of it. And you kind of find yourself getting to where you need to go. I think the biggest thing that everybody needs to understand with where you're at in your career is that you kind of know it. You kind of know everything. You kind of know. And what I mean by that is like, what needs to be worked on, what works well. And so, yeah, if you come out with a product or you come out with a consultation line or something, it's because it needs to be out there. And it's because people haven't been doing that. Carissa Miles says, you are one of the biggest mentors in our area, which I agree. And I'm not even in the hair world. How is
Thank you.
the hair community in Reno? So I know what I know. My wife used to own a salon, now works at a salon. And I know what I know just from hearing from her, but how do you feel like this community is in Reno?
Oh, wow. I think our salon community has evolved to a place that is very collaborative
Uh-huh.
on a lot of levels. I mean, I was on the Facebook, and there's this group that it's about salon jobs, and someone said, hey, I'm going to quit this job and I want to go into the private sector of salons. And I mean,
Right.
There were people on there posting, hey, call Caliber. They may be what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that was a salon owner.
Cool. So a salon referring a salon, yeah.
Referring my salon because maybe, that person wasn't, the right fit or whatever for their salon,
Right.
But promoting that. And, I think it's come a long way where we've really become a little bit more interactive, and, rising tides raises all ships.
Yeah, I agree.
Where we all have different demographics and different creative aspects, so, there's room for all of us.
Right.
And we're not competing,
I mean, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with low competition. I've built my business on the whole community over competition aspect where, yeah, I refer clients to other photographers if I can't do it, or I don't want to do it, or I don't feel like I can do it, or whatever. And ultimately, yeah, the same thing. We want everybody to not necessarily do the same thing, but charge within the same amount, provide the same type of service, so that Reno then becomes like this, hey, and that's kind of one of the things that your salon kind of did for me is, when we were first talking, I was kind of saying that, like, since I've never had to pay for a haircut, since family always did haircut, I never really got that treatment. I never got my hair, washed. I never got, blow dried and all that and sent out of my way. It was always just throw a hat on, do whatever. But you guys, when I go into the salon, I mean, you've trained your staff to say the same thing. So it's very, it's very, I don't want to say the word corporate. It's nicer. It's like somebody comes in and says, hey, welcome. Hey, who are you here for? Hey, do you need a beverage? Do you need something? Rather than me just walk in, sit down and be like, my time's at 12. I'm just here. I love that.
I think there's a level of consistency that happens, inside of that service. So, you're not sitting there wondering what to do, right? We're going to invite you what to do, and we're going to, escort you to the chair, and we're, it's not a bunch of robot bots, and it's not a corporate atmosphere, but it is a consistent atmosphere.
I like that. Yeah.
So you know what you're going, you walk in with a level of expectation, and you're going to receive that. And, our job is always to hope that we exceed those expectations.
Right.
And something I just wanted to, step back to, myself and some other salon owners in our area have recently, over the past year and a half, have, created this group called Reno Tahoe Salon Owners Association.
Oh.
And we did that so that we could be more impactful in our industry locally.
Okay. It's like a group of salon owners get together, and you guys are like, well, this is what we'd like to see. This is what we're seeing. So rather than you guys just taking it to your individual salons and being like, oh, my salon over here is doing this, we don't want to do that. You guys are kind of like, how can we help other salons get to this level that we should all be at? And that should be like the baseline now.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can we ask the questions, and how can we share the information, and how can we grow our industry so that, we do, part of, Caliber's, vision is, we strive to revolutionize and impact the perception of the salon industry by
Right.
expanding the culture through collaborative education and execution. And, I think it is that collaborative, idea where we can revolutionize the perception of who we are as professionals industry wide. And I think we hope to, we hope and work at doing that here locally. And, then maybe it'll expand out somewhere further. But if we can, Carissa, thank you for, saying what you said. I do want to leave an impact.
Right.
I do want to leave a legacy.
Right. I mean, we all do, right? We all do, but like, it's rare for people to actually be able to do that. I mean, everybody, we want to be in the history books. I always have feelings about that. Like, yeah, I want to be people to talk about me. I want people to know, I want people to know who I am as a photographer or as a man later on, ultimately, when I'm gone, I'm gone. But yeah, we want to have a legacy. But we also want to enjoy it while we're here, right? I mean, you are here now, your name's out there. And then I want to segue into this because a couple days ago, I know that in the intro of this, I was talking about the riots that are happening, right? The protesting, the riots, and we're not going to get into the whole, the BLM, Black Lives Matter and all that. But one of the things I want to bring up with you was your salon was very, very close to where the riots were happening. And what part did you have in that? Because I did see your name come up on a few different posts. What was going on while the riots were happening? How did that affect you guys, or did it?
I mean, we're in Midtown. We're a couple of blocks off of Virginia. So, I mean, I think most of the peaceful protest parade, went up Virginia, mostly bypassed us for the most part. Right. I did have some staff members, later in that evening when things started to get a little bit more aggressive.
Right.
Less peaceful.
Right.
Text me and say, hey, is there something that we need to do at the salon? Do we do, let our security team know, our security system know that this is happening. I checked my cameras, I checked the lights around the space, and I really wasn't. I mean, I think I felt like we were far enough removed from the center of what that was happening, but it still did leave a little bit of, well, you just don't know what if.
Because it could come down. I mean, you theoretically are a 5-minute walk away from the Believe sign where everything was going down, right? I mean, it was close enough, close enough for Lindsay and Carissa and their salon to be concerned. I mean, people walked right by them, tagged some trash cans next to them. Luckily, didn't touch any of the cars there, didn't touch the salon. Right. And that's actually, their salon is right next to where you live.
Yeah, right next to where I live. I was a little bit more worried about where I lived than more of my salon.
Right. And luckily, one of the things, and I wasn't concerned on that because luckily, we kind of put together that they were going for businesses and they weren't going to people's homes and all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's intense. How, and then of course the next day there was a huge recovery aspect of Midtown and downtown of people cleaning and helping and all that. That must have felt pretty good to see that kind of community come together after everything. What did you think of that?
It's always great to see our community, any community, come together to help us rise up above, where we have gotten to.
Right.
It's a really challenging place where we're at in our society and our culture today. It just really is. I mean, you know, I think there's been a lot of band-aids, over some of these issues for way, way too long.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, I understand the protests. I understand, the rioting and the looting. I mean, I'm not saying that I, necessarily condone it, but I do understand it,
Right.
you know, uh, our community, our society, we need to rise above, these things, and we need to make some changes,
I
you know.
agree. I mean, I agree. I always feel I feel a little uh every time I mention anything, about any other race other than being Asian or white, there's always somebody that kind of attacks me with it and says, since you're not that, you can't talk about it. So it's always hard for me to feel like I can express what I want to say about it. But I'm always err on the side of human. I always err on the side of, if this was happening, how would I feel? And
Right.
and that's where it's at right now, and it's tough, because theoretically for me, straight half white male, married, kids, I'm kind of like what the norm is supposed to be. So there's no real thing that affects me every single day, if that makes sense. There's nothing where there's I don't have to worry about much things, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's just my life.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we're at with everything. Let's push this over to the salon again, because you had really, really big part of making sure that the salons were moved to phase 2, right? Because originally, with the whole reopening of everything, salons were supposed to be phase 4.
I think so. Yeah.
Phase 4, and we're not in phase 4 yet. We're in phase 2 right now.
Right.
And you got together with salon owners, some hoity-toity people that high up on the ropes of the things, and you were able to bring it to phase 2 pretty late in the game. I think like 2 days before or something, we started to hear about it. How did this happen? How did this go about?
Well, I mean, right at the beginning, I mean, I clearly understand why we had to shut down. I mean,
Right.
I have friends at the biology department and infectious disease, and I understand why we had to shut down, right? And that's fine, that we had to shut down. But at the end of the day, we're going to reopen,
Right.
and what is that going to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I just began by asking myself that question. We're going to reopen. What is that going to look like? What do we already have in place,
Mm-hmm.
right, that manages levels of sanitation, infectious disease, safety of the welfare of the public that we see every day? We already have all of these things in place.
Right. As
So,
part of yes, this is part of your training. This is part of your
part of our
board. This is part
training,
of
part of
everything.
our licensure.
Right.
You know, we're licensed like a doctor. We're licensed like a lawyer. I mean,
You have
we have
continuing education every year.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys have to keep
I
it
mean,
going.
so it really was. We're going to reopen. What are we going to have to do? What in addition to all of these guidelines that are going out there, what are we going to have to do to get us reopen? And how are we going to reopen when that happens? So, we started looking at, I mean, Georgia was one of the first places to open up, and I think they
Mm-hmm.
have a really great state board that, created all of these guidelines for them. A friend in New York who owns, some, major salons, was looking at all these different types of guidelines about how they were going to possibly reopen.
Right.
And so we just started polling, not only from our state board, but from all of these other areas about, blow drying, social distancing, the CDC, what are
Right.
their guidelines, all of those kind of things. And we just started collating, bringing all these pieces together and writing them down. And then we were sharing them with each other on our TSOA, the Reno Tahoe Salon Owners Association,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of putting all those pieces together. And then, once we did that, we just made a list of all the things that we already do,
Right.
what we're already licensed to do, and then the additions to what it was going to look like when we reopened,
So
so that we
what?
could reopen responsibly, safely, with
Right.
guidelines and measures in place based on our license that we're already licensed to do.
realistically though, what changes did you guys have to do? I mean, besides like, the social distancing, I know that, text when you get there. You can't double book your clients anymore, for the time being. But like, what did you guys really have to change? Or was it more of like, dude, this is what we're doing already? Like, there should be no reason why we can't be open as long as we do it responsibly.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. For the most part, we just had to heighten our awareness of the things that we already do and
Hmm.
make sure, those are getting done, at 100%, and then
Right.
add in the social distancing component,
Right.
right? The non gathering of
Right.
people component.
Right. So right now, yeah, when people come to your salon, instead of them being able to sit in the lobby, look at products, loiter around, say hi to everybody, they're in their car. They call or text or something when they get there. I remember I didn't know, so I walked to the door and just put my face on the door and said, "I'm here. Your door's locked." And then you guys are like, "Go in your car. We're gonna
Right.
we're gonna text you." And then somebody
Well,
came out
we
and
have
grabbed
we
me.
have notices on the door.
Right. I can't read, so it was paper, and I had to go to the door to look at the notice. I'm just throwing that out there right now. So by the time I'm
Okay.
there, I'm already embarrassed, and I'm like,
All right. All
"Oh,
right.
I'm reading your
I'll
sign."
make a bigger sign for you next time.
Thanks. Something. Maybe, yeah, put in the parking lot. Maybe make it bigger. No, I was at we went to Legends yesterday and walking through, and I went to Grateful Gardens to get some food, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Vans to get new shoes because my shoes are broken." And there's two people sitting in Vans trying on shoes, and I didn't know that they worked there. I didn't know anything. So I'm like looking in the door. I'm like, "Oh, you guys are open." And I'm trying to open the door, and I'm like, "Your door's locked." And they're like, "We're not open." And I'm like, "There's people trying on shoes." And then I just walked away. But I'm like, I was already there. Like, I was already at the door. So I'm going to try to get into your
Right.
place. That's
Yeah.
kind of how it is.
Yeah.
How has the last 2 weeks been then? How are people treating you? Everybody chill? Clients are cool?
Yeah. I think it's I think overall it's really been good. We opened some extra days and some extra hours, to try and just manage all of the clients that hadn't been able to get in.
Right.
I think, this week, this Monday is actually our last Monday that we're going to be open, and we'll probably get kind of closely back to normal.
Oh, you guys
Um,
aren't open Mondays normally?
Not normally, no,
Oh, sweet.
no. Um, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, we were able to reopen and just manage that social distancing, and I think that's what, the just being able to manage people coming and going is really
Right.
the reason why we're asking people to call from their car, and then we'll escort you in when we're ready.
Right.
I think we've been really busy, not the same busy because we have to manage time in between clients.
Right.
So you know
So it's less, it's busy work. So it's more of the
yeah,
cleaning in between and
yeah. And it's not that you can't double book. You can double book as long as you can manage social distancing. If you have two chairs to manage
right.
people, you can do that as long as you're
Right.
sanitizing in between, right?
Right.
um, we can blow dry. It's just recommended that we don't, and if we do, we have to let clients know that that there's a possibility of blowing particulates around and spreading
Yeah.
particulates. Which, I mean, I'm fine with letting clients know. I'm fine with blow drying. I'm gonna blow dry.
Yeah.
We have an HVAC unit in our salon, so that's blowing air around. I don't
Right.
know what that's about. I would say we've probably had 70-80% of all of our clients, probably at least 80% of all of our clients come back really quickly. About 20% of our clients are
They're still waiting.
still waiting. You
Right.
know, but when they've done that, I mean, most of them, when they've done that, they're like, I may have someone at home that I need to worry about, or I'm just going to wait it
Right.
out 2 weeks. Can I buy a gift certificate? Can I buy a gift card? Can I come still get product? So there's still that level of support that's happening,
Right.
even though they may not be ready to sit in the chair yet.
Right.
On the other hand, I've had quite a number of new clients come in saying, we've been watching you, what you are doing as far as safety and sanitation. Maybe my salon that I used to go to isn't quite up to that level, so we thought it
Right.
would be a good time to try someone new,
Right.
and you're where we're going. So
Right.
that's been kind of an interesting processes or thought process as well.
Well, hopefully these salons are starting to see that, and they're all kind of going. I know, just from what I can see with Lindsay and Carissa in the salon over at Structure Salon Structure. I don't know how to say it. There, there's a lot of rules and stuff in there, and even when I dropped off food the other day for Lindsay, there was rules and stuff. So I just ran away, mask on my face, don't talk to anybody. Good. I mean, I'm glad. Yeah, that was the biggest thing, because you guys had to prove to everybody that you could do it, especially since he moved everybody up to phase 2. Yeah, and it's been a journey. It didn't affect me in any way. I'm just super easy. Just cut my hair and I'm out. But one of the things that I feel bad for you is I know that you're a big traveler, right? Because I think I'm always scheduling in between your trips, because you're always in Paris or you're in New York or Hawaii or something. How are you feeling now? Like, is it weird that you haven't been gone?
Yes, Jeramie, I love to travel. I have gotten myself to a place in my career and in my life where I can, travel more. And, I was in New York the first and second week of February.
Right.
I was in Paris the last week of February, first week of March.
Did you almost, wait, I think you were telling me about this. Did you almost get stuck? Like if you didn't leave on time?
Well, yeah, I mean, that next week when I arrived home, a week to the day, they shut down travel from Europe.
Right.
And it just at that time, it felt like, this COVID situation, this pandemic was still so far removed from us.
Right.
It was happening, but it was happening over there, wherever over there was. It wasn't really happening here. And, so quickly how that changed. So, I had just been in Paris. I mean, I got home. We were planning another, wonderful beach vacation, probably Tahiti. Should have been happening the end of this month. So that's not.
Aww.
They're like, oh, well, can I go to Hawaii? Maybe I can't even go to Hawaii yet.
Right. I mean, well, Hawaii, yeah, they banned everybody. When you get there 2 weeks, you have to stay in quarantine. But they have done great. I think I remember the numbers were like super low to none. Yeah. So we're anxious to travel. I mean, we just went to Legends to walk around, and that was like a vacation.
Right.
Because it was just something.
So this won't be the way forever. I mean, things will change. Like if we think about what changed after 9/11, with our whole airport and that whole experience is completely different than it was before 9/11.
Right.
So there's definitely going to be some changes of that level, I'm sure, as we move into the upcoming years based on this pandemic. But we still continue to move forward and move on, and we'll be able to travel. And it may not be Tahiti next year. Maybe it's 2021. I don't know. Travel for me, maybe this year, maybe we'll figure out something within the States where,
I know you're going to have to start get an RV and start driving around.
Yeah. I can do that.
You'll probably have to glamp though. I don't know if you can just regular camp. Yeah. I can't regular camp. I mean, I don't. Yeah, we don't camp at all. I can't catch fish.
I could regular camp. I mean, I'm tent and Bunsen burners and all that.
Yeah.
And, sleep bags on the ground. I can do that. My partner certainly can't. And well, he won't.
He won't. He's like, babe, go. You're out. Done.
Yeah. One time. Yeah. Didn't go well.
Yeah. Oh, you guys went one time?
One time. Yeah. Like,
what did he do? Did he just leave?
No, I mean he stayed through the camping event, but it was like in August up in Jackson Meadows, and all of a sudden this rain, and it even snowed that night. It was just a terrible first experience for someone who hasn't ever really tent camped.
Right. He just wanted like a 90-degree in the middle of the night, and start in the backyard. I mean, that's kind of where it goes from now. Yeah. So Trace, tell me what the next 5 years of your life is like. What do you? I know that. So we're talking about pushing out this consultation program. Um, but do you ever look that far ahead? Like, what else are you wanting to do?
I'm looking into, I'm 52. Over the next 10 to 15 years, I do plan to retire.
Hmm.
So, I do want to, just continue to train, build my salon to a place where, it really just can run itself,
Right.
uh, with a really great team in place. Um, Build my, consultation program and that online, you know, work of that. Um, Doing more fashion shows, obviously, because that's a really
Yeah.
great creative outlet for me. Something that I really love to do. Probably getting into some property purchasing.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, going that. Do you like doing that stuff? Are you like a big organizer or a big redecorator of things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I feel like it goes with what you do. I feel like in the creative side of it, the aesthetics, I guess, if you will, getting a house, buying a house, going into somebody's house and being like, oh my god, we could totally do all of this.
All of this.
Yeah, take it all gone. It's stupid. It's gone. Uh, we don't want to see it anymore. So you're taking new clients right now. You're booking. You have a salon full of people that are working hard. Uh, I think you're on the right track. Are you guys? Do you guys like the mask idea? Do you feel like it's doing anything, or is it just kind of like a band-aid?
I think there is some level of protection,
Hmm.
absolutely, from wearing a mask. I don't know that it's 100% protection, but if someone came in that, was asymptomatic and you didn't really know, I mean,
Right.
you, you know, it might be helpful if, both of you are wearing masks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I know, and I asked that question because I don't see that leaving your guys' industry for a long time since of how close you are with people and how scrutinized it's going to be.
Yeah,
Um,
one of my staff members asked me the other day, how long do you think we'll be wearing these? And, I said, I think it'll be at least a year.
yeah, I mean, I think you guys should start getting cool masks. I mean, tell your
Yeah,
staff like
you know,
start ordering some sexy masks that you can wear with your outfits because it's going to be a minute.
yeah.
Where it's going to be, and I feel like that's a new accessory. I feel like it's going to be hat, mask,
Oh, yeah.
gloves.
I mean, every fashion house in the world is going to be,
I'm
you know,
If they're
Gucci,
not already, yeah. Gucci has some. Yeah, I saw
Louis
that.
Vuitton. I mean,
Yeah,
they're all going to be producing these masks. They'll be all over the runway this year.
I
If
believe
there
it.
is a
Yeah,
runway. I mean, I bet the runways are going to be virtual.
a virtual runway. I mean, yeah, and but they should be able to do that. I mean, so I mean, guys, when I go to Caliber, Trace always has like fashion shows on the TVs, and then he plays separate music, so the music doesn't go with the fashion show. But it's also like they're wearing like the most ridiculous stuff, and it's in my mirror line. So like I'm getting my haircut and I see this and I see the thing, and there's a guy wearing like a trash bag, and that's like it's a trash bag. I'm like, dude, it's a trash bag. And I watch all this stuff and I'm like, is this fashion? And that's your world, right? That's what ultimately you love going to these things. You love watching the hairstylists, do these unique, crazy hair things. And I know that we've been talking a lot about doing a couple things for competition that I won't mention because then people are going to steal it. But yeah, in my mind, it's stuff like that I love working with creative people. Um, yeah, hopefully they do some sort of, but they can social distance those fashion shows, I think.
I think there's some aspects of it that they can. I mean, the way that we run them now, we have like, 3 hours to get, 40 to 60 models done, hair,
Right. Just tight little
nails,
room.
in a tight little room. And then, the model call before the run, there's lots of people, so I don't know if they would be able to do it the same way. I
Right.
mean, I think we could obviously accomplish the same work, but I don't know in that amount of time, you know, with any social distancing in place, could
Right.
we do it that way? So there may be some changes to that.
Yeah, I think that's It's safe. It sucks. Like all this stuff is being done, like, rib cook off and all that stuff. It's just, we have to, it's the new norm right now.
Yeah.
Awesome, sir. All right. So we are at 1:00 and I know that
Right.
you're at work. And so I appreciate you taking the time out to do this with me. You got a busy day today?
Yeah, I've got a busy afternoon. Yeah, for sure.
Whatever. It's Lindsay and I, our anniversary is in a couple days on the 7th.
All right. Happy anniversary.
Thanks. Yeah. 12 years now, man. So we're going to, the kids are with the grandparents today. Lindsay's at work because she didn't plan this right. And then I think we might go to Tahoe or something because there's a curfew downtown. So we were going to go have dinner somewhere downtown, but it's all 7:00.
Right.
Yeah. Are you guys working that curfew? You're going to be done by then?
Yeah. Yeah, we're done by then.
Yeah. It's crazy. I didn't even know it was a curfew. And then all of a sudden there's a curfew and, living this Sparks life right now.
Yeah, I'm not, I think maybe if you're, walking around downtown or something like that, I don't know if I'm, driving from, work to home that I'm going to get stopped beyond curfew, but
I think if it's people are just walking around loitering or trying to shop or do whatever, they're just getting people out. But I think we only had one night of riots, right? We only had that one night when nothing else happened.
Right.
I know some cities were like 7-9 days or something like that, and it's still going. And, I think that's what they are trying not to do here, but I don't see that happening. So we've been good. Awesome, sir. Thank you so much for doing this. I think I see you next week-ish, and we're going to go short on the sides.
Are we?
I think we're going back. Yeah, I don't know. I like the top long, but Lindsay wants the side shorter, and I, whatever.
Lindsay wants the side shorter.
I don't do the saying it. Yeah. I'm like,
right,
can you give me a picture? Give me a picture. I'll bring it to Trace, and this is what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
But it's always like a dude that doesn't look anything like me, and I'm like, I can't.
Maybe I should do our consultation with Lindsay.
Yeah, you should. I don't even need to be there. I mean, that's really what it's at. And she comes home and she's like, "Oh, that's your haircut," and I'm like, "What are you doing? This is my haircut." But I also come home and it's not done. Like last time I was in a hat, and she goes, "What'd you do to your hair?" And I'm like, we're not talking right now. It's a sore subject. I'm like, I like it. That's all that matters.
And she's like, no, that's not all that matters.
That is not what we discussed. Jeramie. Awesome, sir. All right. Thank you so much.
Right.
Have fun. I'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, Jeramie.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fun, guys. All right. I know I did an intro, so it's kind of the end of it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. He's such a cool dude, man. I mean, like, it's weird because you never think that the people that you visit or work with, especially in small communities, you'd actually become friends with. And really, he just started off as a guy that cut my hair. And then I've seen him every 3 weeks for like years now. And we've worked together and he's hired me. I've done his headshots and all this stuff. And it's just this level of community. And then as time goes by, we move on, we start to get our names in a few things, be in a few podcasts together, get a few interviews together, do some shoots together, do some weddings together, and you become friends with people. And I know we talked a lot about business in that podcast, and that wasn't my intention, but it's just the times right now, guys. We're in the riots. The COVID's happening. Salons are opening. He's at his salon, and I just needed to get that information out. I needed the people that are weary and scared of going out and afraid of getting their hair cut and all that, just to understand that there are precautions being made. And yes, you're scared, but they have to deal with all these people coming. They have to make money, and that's where we're at. But also, he's just a normal guy who, grew up in a hair salon, and then did hair, but with all that passion, and it sounds like his parents were freaking amazing. All that passion that they had, he was able to build that and kind of push that legacy. And we mentioned legacy, and he's pushing on the legacy. So it's cool. It's cool to kind of see that. And I feel like once you learn about the people that you're with and you start to figure out why they do what they do, it just makes everything easier to give your money to, right? I'm paying this guy for this, and that's what I like about it. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Until the next episode, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Or, visualize it. Make it happen. Visualize it. Make it happen. Thanks, guys.